These canvases don't come black. You sit there and you paint them black to begin everything. And I'm curious about why and how that came about.
Yeah, well, it started out. There's times that, especially doing this with the Father, that you catch the very practical partnership with Him artistically, but then you also catch this magnitude of, the prophetic and the voice of God and what He's trying to do with them. So, it really gets bigger and expands there. The landscape gets a lot wider.
The details and the spiritual component.
Yes, where you're trying to fuse, fuse the two together. So, that can be an interesting process. But the black on black started out as, just artistic instruction. Because I was like, okay, Lord, I get that, because He was always from the very beginning with me. A lot of painters will go into a situation and they don't know what they're going to paint. God tells them in the moment. Y'all know He does not work that way with me at all, which is, great, and, He does things differently with everybody. But that's not how He and I work. He never has. He's always revealed what we were going to do. We've always worked it out on canvas. We've always done the intricacies at home, to get the perspective, to get all these things proper and right, so that the visual piece of it does not stump people from entering into an encounter with the Father. That can stop them. If it's not done with excellence, it can stop them. And so that's always been a concern from Him from the very beginning with these paintings. And so, I was like, okay, well, if we're going to prepare them at home and, prepare the canvas, sketch it out, things like that on canvas, and have this piece done, but then you want me to do all the color, live in the conference, when people are there. And, that seems to be what we're doing, okay? And so then, but I'm like this, questions, ask God questions, because it's incredible how He really does want to answer. Because I don't understand, I can't see, these are done live and on stage with stage lighting and everything, which is really tricky, artistically. And, I can't see my pencil lines. I can't, I always, most of the time, will go into a new environment and have to set up and do these and have no idea what the lighting will be, what the surrounding, how it will affect what is on canvas. I have to really ask Him and prepare it and go in faith that I'm hearing Him, so that it's prepared properly for the atmosphere before I ever get there.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I can't see the pencil lines. I can sketch this out, but I can't see them. And He's like, well, let's do black on black. And I'm like, what, yeah, so again, I'm sitting there, I'm like, gotta keep going. I'm not getting that, black on black. And so, He showed me, I've got different colors of black. You mean that would work? And yeah, do it, try it, it'll work. I'm like, okay. So I would paint them all, a particular black, paint the whole canvas black first, and then I would go back and I would sketch it out with a pencil, get everything, as we wanted it, and then I would pick up a different color of black and do quite a bit of strokes, so that I was even familiar with the movements and the lines. They were familiar to me, so that when I was put in that space, the raw hub of that painting was very familiar to me. And I could see it. And I never will forget the first time He had me do this, which was actually for the Golden Conference that I didn't know was coming. And the boot camp. This happened in boot camp. And I get there, and it's totally in faith, because I did 7 paintings in 3 days. And they were all prepared with this black on black, So it's moving in obedience and great faith that you're hearing. And trusting God, because you're going to be in front of 3,000 people. This could go bad, real bad. Yeah. And I never will forget, okay, Lord, I did what You told me to do, this black on black. And I remember setting it up And I'm like, oh my gosh, this totally works. I can completely see every line, even with the lights changing all the time. Because you know, it's live worship sets. They change all the lights all the time. And I could find my lines the whole, you know, for every single painting, all weekend long, I could find my lines. And, you know, I was just like, he never ceases to amaze me with his brilliance. You know, whether it's, you have this beautiful, deep spiritual side, you know, spiritual truths, but with the brilliance of just something so, you know, so physical.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, I love it too because it, as a observer, doesn't even seem like the right word. I'll even want to say participant of viewing these paintings. It feels like the mystery is being revealed, right? If it were a white canvas and you just had all the lines up there, I'd be able to be like, oh, well, that's, you know, a rose. But the fact that it's black and you start, and it's always so cool during worship conferences when you start with a blank canvas up there or black canvas, and then you see, you know, the gold strokes and the colors start to form, and it's like the painting really comes to life. And it's incredible to watch. It's incredible. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, and the black has a lot of history to it because God, the mystery was huge. He's definitely spoke. You know, so many times I think we kind of gear away from the black, but God created in the black. You know, He created in the darkness, and He spoke light. And so there's layered meanings that He has woven into, you know, Codye, I want you to paint on black, because, you know, I panicked. Because painting on white and painting on black is literally, you know, creatively, it's like turning your brain upside down. I mean, you have to see differently. You have to plan it out completely differently, the opposite. And so I had no training in that. There was another opportunity to lean into God to even learn how to see that way. And then He started unveiling more of the revelation of why He wants it black. And He wove the mystery in of like, I don't want people to see, I want the painting to be birthed into the atmosphere in that moment. And I don't want the, you know, I think if you see the lines before on white, there's some presumptions that could be made, and it doesn't leave the mystery of God. It doesn't provide Him a space as well as leaving that mystery does, because then He can come as He desires without the presumptions of man already on it. Yeah. And that was some of it. You know, some of it was, you know, how did He painted light into the darkness? You know, there's quite some over the years, the mystery of the black, of why these are black, it just keeps getting deeper. It's pretty cool how He decides things.